Okay, so hey guys, welcome to this video for today. Um, so in this video today, I'm gonna walk about the 30-minute speaking. That's a good idea, right? But first, let me open this one over here. It's be like this. Let me open it. Wait for a little bit. You know what? So it's gonna be here, here, better, right? Yeah, that's pretty good. Right. So now I want to go to the Google, and then I'm going to open the Google Meet for checking my pronunciation. It's going to be here, 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 and I'm also go to YouTube to publish my videos on it. So it's going to be a good idea, right? Sure, it's going to be a good idea. I don't know how, like. That's okay, I'm gonna do it later. Just here. Then you go to this meeting, and then it's going right. Then I'm gonna turn on caption, so that's pretty good, right? So that is pretty good, right? So that's pretty good, right? So that's pretty good, right? Right. So now I'm gonna actually, go to video, checking the French 1, 2, 3, 9, right? So it's gonna be it's gonna be 9, and then forward it's gonna be 9, 10, and so on. Now I'm gonna go to the relax. Here it's gonna be not this one, not this one, not this one. This one, it should be this one. So it's gonna be 9. Next, publish. Then close it. Then I'm gonna create upload video, select files here. Then actually it has some problem with my laptop. I'm not sure like why this is happening. It's gonna be 10 just in case. I'm gonna do just 2 of them in case if there's anything that happen here, right? So who knows, this may have something bad for my stuff, right? So now I'm gonna take out the materials for this one. Don't really care. Right. So now I'm gonna take out the materials. The material for speaking French, which is for improving my French speaking. No, it's not my French. It is my English speaking. So now I'm gonna go. Actually, should be here. And this one. That's it, right? And for before that, I have to test something. Alright, so it is a pen. So this is a pen. It is different. So this is a pen. 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 So now I'm gonna put this pen inside my mouth. This pen. So now I'm gonna put this pen inside my mouth. This pen. This pen. This pen. This pen. And I can feel the pen a lot. Pen. Pen. this pen. So now I'm gonna put this pen. So now I'm gonna put this pen inside my mouth. This pen. 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 So now I want to put this pen. So now I'm going to put this pen. 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 Pencil case. Pencil. Pencil. Pen. Pen. So now I want to put this pen. 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 This pen and this 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 pen. Sorry, just skip it up. Alright, so now I want to put this pen inside my mouth for the speaking purposes, which I really want to improve my speaking skill, right? So I'm going to put this in my mouth. I'm going to read, actually 3 of them if I really want to improve my skills. Alright, so let's do it. Obvious. I heard a rumor, Sandstorm said, to the effect that he turned his head and looked about him to make absolutely sure that he and the truckers were alone in the tiny prescription pharmacy. The truckers were a gnome-like near little men who could have been any age from 50 to 100. They were alone, but Sandstorm dropped his voice just the same, to the effect that you have a completely undetectable poison. The druggist nodded. He came around the counter and locked the front door of the shop. He walked toward a doorway behind the counter. I was about to take a coffee break. He said, "Come with me and have a cup." Senator followed him around the counter and through the doorway to a backroom ringed by shelves of bottles from floor to ceiling. The druggist blocked in an electric percolator, found 2 cups and put them on the table that had a chair on either side of it. He motioned Sandstorm to one of the chairs and took the order himself. "Now," he said, "tell me, whom do you want to kill, and why?" "Does it matter?" Sandstorm asked. "Isn't it enough that I pay for? I must be convinced that you deserve what I can give you. Otherwise," he shrugged. Like, "All right," Sandstorm said. "The whom is my wife. The wife, he started the long story. Before he had quite finished, the persuader had finished its task, and the doctor briefly interrupted to get a coffee for them. Shenton finished his story. The little druggist nodded. Yes, I occasionally dispense an undetectable poison. I do so freely, I do not charge for it. If I think the curse of myself, if the curse is deserving, I have helped many murders. Fine, Shenton said. Please give to me, then. The druggist smiled at him. I already have. By the time the coffee was ready, I had decided that you deserved it. It was, as I said, free, but there is a price for the antidote. Shenton turned pale, but he had anticipated not this, but the possibility of a double cross for some form of blackmail. He pulled a pistol from his pocket. The little broker shocked. You daren't use that. Can you find the antidote? He waved at a shelf among those thousands of bottles, or you will find a faster, more virulent poison. Or if you think I'm bluffing that you're not really poisoned, go ahead and shoot. You will know the answer within 3 hours when the poison starts to work. How much for the antidote? Sandstone growled. Quite reasonable, $1,000. After all, a man must live. Even if his puppy is preventing murders, there's no reason why he shouldn't make money at it, is there? Sandstone growled and put the pistol down, but Wilson reached and took out his wallet. Maybe after he had the antidote, he'd still use the pistol. He counted out $1,000 in $100 bills and put it on the table. The truckers made no immediate move to pick it up. He said, and one other thing, for your wife's safety and mine, you will write a confession of your intention, your former intention. I judged to murder your wife. Then you will wait till I go out and mail it to a friend of mine on the homicide detail. He'll keep it as evidence in case you ever do decide to kill your wife, or me, for that matter. When that is in the mail, it will be safe for me to return here and give you the antidote. I'll get you the paper and pen. Oh, one other thing. Although I do not actually insist on it, please help spread word about my undetectable poison. Will you? One never knows. Mr. Sangster, the life you have. If you have any enemies, just might be your own. I'm not gonna read this one again, and I'm gonna choose the another one. And I'm gonna read this one without the pen is in my mouth. Without the pen inside my mouth. The dinner party. The dinner party. The dinner party. The country is India. A colonial officer and his wife are giving a large dinner party. They are seated with their guests, army officers and government attaché, and their wives, and their wives, and a visiting American naturalist in the spacious dining room, which has a bare marble floor, open rafters, and wide glass doors opening onto a veranda. A spirited discussion springs up between the younger, who insists that women have outgrown the jumping on a chair at the sight of a mouse era, and the colonel who says that they haven't. A woman's unfailing reaction in any crisis, the colonel says, is to scream, and while a man might feel like it, he has that ounce more of nerve control than a woman has. and the last ounce is what counts. The American does not join in the argument, but watches the other guests. As he looks, watch, watches the other guests. As he looks, he sees a strange expression come over the face of the hostess. She is staring straight ahead, her muscles contracting sadly. With a slight gesture, she summons the native boy standing behind her chair and whispers to him. The boy's eye widen. He quickly leaves the room. He quickly leaves. He quickly leaves the room. Of the guests, none except the American noticed this or sees the boy place a bowl of milk on the veranda just outside the open doors. Only one thing. No, the American comes to with a start. In India, milk in bottle means only one thing: bait for a snack. He realized there must be a cobra in the room. He looks up at the rafters, the likeliest place, but they are bare. Three corners of the room are empty, and in the fourth of the seventh, the seventh, the seventh, the servants are waiting to serve the next course. There's only one place left, under the table. His first impulse is to jump back and warn the others, but he knows the commotion would frighten the cobra into striking. He speaks quickly, the tone of his voice so arresting that it sobers everyone. I want to know just what control everyone at this table has. I will count to 300. That's 5 minutes. And not one of you is to move Moscow. Those who move will forfeit 50 rupees. Right? The 20 people sit like stone images while he counts. He is saying 280 when out of the corner of his eye he sees the cobra emerge and make for the bowl of milk, screaming out as he jumps to slam the veranda doors safely shut. You were right, Colonel, the host exclaims. A man has just shown us an example of perfect control. Just a minute, the American says, turning to his hostess. Miss Grins, how did you know that cobra was in the room? Um, that cobra, that cobra was in the room. Oh, I have to say the cobra in Oxford Dictionary, right? Cobra. I think that should be cobra, but I'm not sure if it is the correct one. So I'm just generally just check it. Cobra, 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 cobra. How do you know that cobra? How do you know that cobra was in the room? A faint smile lights up the woman's face as he replies, because it was crawling across my foot. Crawling across my foot. Then put this band again. Then I'm gonna put this pen again inside my mouth. Then I'm gonna put this pen again inside my mouth. So I'm gonna put this pen again inside my mouth. So I'm gonna put this pen again inside my mouth. The sudden cool. There was once a young man who was said to be the most stubborn person in town, and a young woman who was said to be the most stubborn woman in town. And of course, they somehow managed to fall in love and get married. After the wedding ceremony, they had a big party in their house, which lasted all day. Eventually, all the friends and relatives could eat no more, and one by one, they all went home. The bride and groom collapsed from exhaustion, and they both sat down onto a big, comfortable chair and started to relax. When the husband noticed that the last guest to leave had not shut the door after him, "My dear," he said, "would you mind getting up and shutting the door? There's a draft coming in." "Why should I shut it?" yawned the wife. "I've been on my feet all day, and I just sat down. You shut it." "So that the way it's gonna be?" snapped the husband. "Just as soon as you get a ring on your finger, you turn into a lazy, good for nothing." "How dare you!" shouted the wife. We haven't even been married a day, and already you calling me names and ordering me around. I should have known this is the kind of husband you would turn out to be." "Nah, nah, nah," trembled the husband. "Must I listen to you complaining forever? And must I always listen to you complaining and whining?" asked the wife. They sat glaring at each other for a full 5 minutes. Then an idea popped into the wife's head. "My dear," the wife said, "neither of us wants to shut the door, and both of us are tired of hearing the other's voice. So I propose a contest. The one who speaks first must get up and shut the door." "Who speaks first must get up and shut the door." "It's the best idea I've heard all day," replied the husband. "Let us begin now." So they made themselves comfortable each on a chair and sat face to face without saying a word. They had been that way for about 2 hours when a couple of thieves with a cart passed by and saw the door open. They crept into the house, which seemed perfectly deserted, and began to steal everything they could lay their hands on. They took tables and chairs, pulled paintings off the walls, and even rolled up carpets, or should it, and even rolled up carpets, and even rolled up carpets. All through this talk, the husband and wife remained silent. "I can't believe this," thought the husband. "They'll take everything we own, and she won't make a sound. Why doesn't he call for help?" the wife suddenly asked herself. "Is he just going to sit there while they steal whatever they want?" Eventually, the thieves noticed the silence, most of the couple, and mistaking them for wax figures, stripped them for their jewelry, watches, wallets, and cell phones. All during this, neither husband or wife moved or made a sound. The thieves hurried away with their loot, and the silent couple sat through the night. At dawn, a policeman walked by the house and noticed the open door. He stuck his head into the open doorway and yelled, oi, what's going on here? Is everything okay?" But, of course, neither husband or wife made a sound. "Now see here," yelled the policeman. "I'm an officer of the law. Who are you? It is your house. What happened to all your furniture?" And still getting no response from the silent couple, the policeman raised his hand to box the man's ears. "Don't you dare!" shrieked the wife, jumping to her feet. That's my new husband, and if you lay a finger on him, do you have me to answer to?" "I won't," yelled the husband, slapping his hands and jumping about. "Now go shut the door." "I heard a rumor," Sandstorm said, to the effect that you—" He turned his head and looked about him to make absolutely sure that he and the druggist were alone in the tiny prescription pharmacy. The druggist was a norm like Nerd, little man who could have been any age. Um, from 50 to 100. They were alone, but Sandstorm dropped his voice just the same, to the effect that you have completely undetectable poison. The druggist nodded. He came around the counter and locked the front door of the shop, then walked toward the doorway behind the counter. I was about to take a coffee break, he said. Come with me and have a cup. Sandstorm followed him around the counter and through the doorway to a back room ringed by shelves of bottles from floor to ceiling. The druggist blocked. Wait a minute, I have to. Can I go off a little bit? Because I have to ask. To. Actually, I have to ask for my husband. Actually, I have to ask for my uncle to buy some stuff. Copy it. Right, then let's go. Let's go back. Um, ringed by shelves of bottles from floor to ceiling. The druggist plugged in an electric percolator, found two cups and put them on the table that had a chair on either side of it. He motioned Sandstorm to one of the chairs and took the order himself. Now, he said, tell me, whom do you want to kill and why? Does it matter? Sandstorm asked. Isn't it enough that I pay for? That I pay for? The druggist interrupted him with an unbraced hand. Yes, it matters. I must be convinced that you deserve what I can give you. Otherwise, he shrugged. All right, Sandstorm said. The whom is my wife. The whom is my wife. The why? He started the long story. Below he had quite finished. The page letter had finished. Had finished. Had finished it. 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 Had finished. Had finished it. Task. Had finished. Had finished it. Had finished it. Had finished it. Task. And the druggist briefly interrupted to get a coffee for them. Sandstorm finished his story. The little druggist nodded. Yes, I occasionally dispense an undetectable poison. I do so freely, so freely. I do not charge for it. If I think the case is deserving, I have helped many murders. Fine, Sandstorm said. Please give it to me then. The druggist smiled at him. I already have. By the time the coffees was ready and had decided that you deserve it. It was, as I said, free, but there is a price for the antidote. Sandstorm turned pale, but he had anticipated, not this, but the possibility of a double cross or some form of blackmail. He pulled a pistol from his pocket. Um, the little druggist choked. You daren't use that. Can you find the antidote? He waved at the shelves among the thousands of bottles. Or would you find a faster, more virulent poison? Or if you think I'm bluffing that you're not really poisoned, go ahead and shoot. You will know the answer within 2 hours when the poison starts to work. How much for the antidote? Sandstorm growled. quite reasonable, $1,000. After all, a man must live. Even if his hobby is preventing murders, there's no reason why he shouldn't make money at it. Is there? Sandstorm roared and put the pistol down, but within reach, and took out his wallet. Maybe after he had the antidote, he'd still use that pistol. He counted out $1,000 in $100 bills and put it on the table. The druggist made no immediate move to pick it up. He said, "And one other thing, for your wife's safety and mine, you will write a confession of your intention, your former intention, and just to murder your wife. Then you will wait till I go out and mail it to a friend of mine on the homicide detail. He'll keep it as evidence in case you ever do decide to kill your wife or me for murder. When that is in the mail, it will be safe for me to return here and give you the antidote. She'll be there. She'll be there. She'll be there. See, she'll be there." And get you the paper and pen. "Oh, one other thing, although I do not absolutely insist on it, please help spread the word about my undetectable poison, will you? One never knows, Mr. Sandstorm, the life you save, the the a the life you save. If you have any enemies, just maybe your own." I think that's mostly the end of this video. For today, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. I believe that I can do that. Okay, so this is the end of this video for today. I'm gonna end this video here. I'm gonna do some other stuff, French stuff at school. Then I'm gonna have French 20 minutes speaking French later. I think it might be like 20 or 30. It depends. Then I'm gonna have like an hour. Actually an hour. Free. I can use that 1 hour for making video on YouTube, or I just go to the Facebook and checking for the group, which I am the admin of that group. Which group? The group that I am the admin of that. The group that I am the admin of that. But actually, I don't really care about that. If I can really push myself like this, like I can actually I have 1 hour free. Okay, so bye guys, see you again later. See you in the 20 minutes speaking French. Bye, have a good day.